You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Punisher Waterfowls The Refuge is presented by Quick Kois, the fastest deployable, most portable, lifelike motion decoy product ever invented for duck hunters.
Hey everybody, this is Kyle Smock with Show Me Ducks, a proud sponsor of Punisher Waterfowls The Refuge this March at the Toronto Sportsman Show. Come check us out in the Refuge to see the Deep Diver 2.0, the Ice Quacker, and the Mini Quacker.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430 podcast. This is episode 208, and what a great show we've got. I'm laughing and smiling because we're talking about all kinds of stuff that we should be recording and talking about on the show. So bear with us and we'll get with it. So I do have to take a chance to thank our sponsors of Real Geese Decoys and First Light and Ducklander Calls, who've been with us, for a long time and have been helping us and standing behind us and always great friends. And of course, the voice of the Union 0430, Captain Jeff Coates, from Pit Boss Waterfowl. So many thanks to those four. And he's from your neck of the woods, really, Austin. And I'll introduce Austin. So we've got Philly on with us tonight. Mark is obviously busy again with some search and rescue stuff. Craig has a call, and I can't remember what the call is about, but it's obviously important because he couldn't make it tonight. But tonight's guest is Mr. Austin. I'm going to say Koile.
That's correct. That's it.
Austin Koile. And Austin has a really cool product right now, and I just purchased it, just got it like yesterday, right, Philly? I picked it up yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I picked it up. So Rekoile Outdoors, please check it out. We're going to dive into this because he's got a product that I absolutely had to have. So I purchased it. He got it sent to me, and I can't wait to get out and try it. So Austin, buddy, thank you coming to us all the way from South Carolina.
Louisiana.
Oh,
Louisiana. So
so on your web, when I looked on your web page, it said South Carolina. So that's why I just assumed. I usually ask people, but it was right on your web page.
So we actually grew up in South Carolina. That's where I grew up, where I bought my dog and where it all started.
Okay.
But then now I'm down here in the bayou in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember this now because you were at the Duck Expo last year, but you were upstairs and I didn't get a chance to chat with you or anything like that. But you were in Baton Rouge. Man, I love Baton Rouge.
It's amazing. You got some awesome people, amazing food, everything.
The food.
Everything's a get together and a good time. They don't have anything that's negative. The food.
The food was Rocky Stockdale, if you're listening, and I know you and Austin, your son, and oh man, we had some good meals down there, and Craig Mintz was with me also. Anyways, getting sidetracked. But Philly, listen, dude, I know you're a big dog guy too, and I'm telling you, I am giving this product 2 thumbs up. Right out of the box. I love it already. I haven't even put Lander in the water with it yet. Just the comfort and fit of it, I can tell, is already better than anything that I've used, really. So, and I guess,
that's good to hear.
And I guess, Austin, and I don't want to steal too much of your thunder when I'm talking about your product, but when I go through your website and stuff, like you hunt with a Boykin, right? So a small breed dog. And when you're you're looking at these big name brands that put out the dog vests and stuff like that, trying to find the sizing sometimes for these smaller breed dogs, it can be problematic at times, right? And so, which works well for me because my lab is just a tiny, tiny girl. She's probably about the same size as your boykin. Um, I think that's a lot of the reason why the fit and the comfort level is right there for her. But um, I guess my question to you is now that you've brought this product out there for that smaller breed of dog, what are the reviews and comebacks that people are coming back to you with regard to the product?
Man, it's so we didn't launch till last December. And
Mm-hmm.
so about a year ago prior to that, I had a little prototype we sent out there. And I was like, hey, this is on Facebook. Said, hey, I got a vest that y'all may be interested in. I need some people to try it. I only had 25. I
Yep.
had people come in, they bought 25 people bought 25 vests. And after everyone bought them, I reached out to them and said, hey, I need your honest feedback. This
Yep.
is what I got. It's where I'm at. Tell me what you want. Cause I just have my dog, which is a boykin.
Yep.
And all these people from around the country, never met them a day in my life. And they gave me the feedback I needed,
Yep.
brought all that together and made what I have now. I've had nothing but my lowest rating was a 4 stars. Haven't had one
That's a good
return.
problem to have.
That's a good problem to have. Yeah.
Haven't had one return yet as of yet. 100% perfect fit rating all across the board. There's only one thing people aren't really a fan of, and that's the handle, which I don't think a lot of people understand it. Going with, like, if you look at the other brands, like just say Tango Free, for example,
Yeah.
they have a nylon strap for the handle. It's stitched on with 1 inch stitch, and I use the same exact handle as they do. So
Yeah.
that's the only negative downside that I've got back.
And I'm not trying to, cause a kick anything up here, but what's the problem with the handle? Because for a guy that now I don't hunt out of a boat as much anymore as what I used to, but I can friggin' tell you, when I hunted out of a boat, that handle was 100% necessary. And Phil, you're hunting out of a kayak now, so even more so for you than
No,
me.
there ain't no dog coming in my kayak.
Oh no?
No. But like when I was running out of the mud rig and the Alaskan, I had I can't even remember who makes it now. Might be the beaver tail
Mm,
ladder.
mhm.
And yeah, like even that was a bit, tricky for the old boy to navigate some days. But like the vest that I've got for like when I had Thor, obviously still have the vest. They ain't
Yeah.
no handle.
No.
So like you're like looking at grabbing the collar and stuff, and it's I'm not too fussy on that.
No.
Because like
I
when I'm running the collar on them, it's the e-collars, so you got the prongs and
That's right. Yeah,
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 like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
handle. I don't care what kind of handles on the vest. Having a
And
handle
yeah.
is essential if you're hunting out of a boat.
Yeah, so Austin, sorry I cut you off there, but what was what was the main complaint about the handle?
It just looked like it wouldn't hold up. It's just
Oh, okay.
first
Okay.
glance looking at it, because when you see these other brands, they have paracord handles, they have
Ah,
a nylon strap handle with a plastic grip on it.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Looks
get you.
easier, it looks like it'll handle more, but that was, as far as like everything with it, that was really the only negatives I had. Of course, you have some people that are zipper guys and some guys that are
Yeah.
Velcro. I mean, you're not going to get around that. So we've been doing some trials with adding a zipper that just started this year. So see how that all pans out, see how people like it.
Yeah.
A way to take it on and off.
Yeah,
But
like I would say 90% of the time I'm a zipper guy, but I also know that in the late season when I'm hunting, I don't want to fool with a zipper. So
mhm.
Velcro comes in pretty handy late in the season when I just need to do my thing and just you know what I mean? And I think if and I've I've put the vest on Lander and fooled around with her a little bit with it on. Like it's not you know what it's not the old school Velcro, right? that piles, and once it gets wet and all that shit. So
So the one you got, we actually upgraded our Velcro system. So the last one, it had the regular Velcro that everyone has.
right.
It just wasn't putting up to my standards. So I was like, we got to do something about this.
Wow.
Change it out, and it's nobody else has it. It's brand new.
Oh,
I
cool.
I deal with them all day long, and I'll tell you, it aggravates me so much because it grips. You get a little grip, and I got to yank it off. I'm like, man, why?
Yeah, yeah,
Why?
yeah. Yeah, I get
A
it.
little bit of the reason why we use the Velcro. I'm not a morning person, and my dog is wide open in the morning. Man, I tell you, I cannot keep him under control because he is itching, running around, bouncing off the back seat. I'm like,
Oh,
I got
you
to,
got one of those too.
yeah, I got to get something that I can put on him quick. If I, with the zipper, if you can't get him to stay still, you're going to back at square one. You get with the Velcro, you get one tab Velcroed on, he can
Yeah,
take off to do something else. He'll come back to me.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, that it makes sense, and I think you know you sort of kind of alluded to it, right? Where you said, there's some guys that are zipper guys, some guys that are Velcro guys, there's some guys that are handles. They don't want handles, they want handles that are paracord. Like it, to make a product that nobody is going to give a suggestion or say, well, I don't really like this or like that. Like it's hard, right? It's hard to make a product that everybody is going to be, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Um, but at the end of the day, as an avid waterfowler like yourself and somebody that, takes pride, this is the thing, and this will be sort of a tangent, and we'll come back to what I'm talking about. But dog owners, waterfowl hunters that are dog owners are on a different level. And I don't mean that they're better. It's just, and I don't
We're
mean that,
superior.
yeah, it's not that I don't think that dog owners are better hunters or anything like that, but it's on a different level to what extremes you'll go to make sure that your dog is comfortable. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yeah. So it's the way I see it, and I'm pretty sure everybody sees this, is that the most expensive, your most expensive gear is your dog.
Yeah.
You spend 13, 10 to 13 years with your dog, maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
You spent the most time, the most money training. No matter what gear you get, it's never going to surpass your dog. So I like to think of that your biggest asset's your dog, your main piece of gear that you have. So if you do have that, like you said, you're putting in a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort to make sure that they can go get your birds for you and have a good time. But then you end up getting the bond with your dog, and it comes into it's your best friend. They go everywhere with you,
Yeah.
and it's that's my favorite part of whenever I hunt. I can
Uh,
go sit out there all day with him and be perfectly fine.
Same. And actually I think the last three hunts that I've done, I haven't even brought my gun. I've just me and the guy. I'm like, fellas, you guys shoot. I'm more concerned about getting her reps in and getting her practice in, and you know what I mean, than I am worried about shooting a goose. So but yeah, like my thing with the whole dog thing, and I brought this up to Phil, and Phil and I have talked about this at length a bunch of times. And you talk about as a duck hunter, a waterfowl hunter, the amount of gear and decoys and all the stuff that is needed. And I say needed because we say we need it. Not that it's needed. We just determined that it's needed. But the gun, the decoys, the clothes, the calls, the everything, right? Um, but yet when you're talking dogs, and then this again, another tangent, and then the price of the dog comes up. And I would think my girl's father was the all points champion in the States. Just actually her dad just got put into the Hall of Fame 2 weeks ago. So, a $2,000 dog, right? A $2,000, $2,500 dog is the norm for Canada, I would think, Philly? Like 2 grand, 1,500, 2K, I would think is
Yeah, like it's all going to depend, like what you're buying, where you get it from. But yeah, like
absolutely.
two
But
two and a half is your
yeah,
ballpark.
so somewhere in around there. So say down in the States, 1,500, $2,000, I would say is probably about the going rate for a good pedigreed dog, right?
For sure.
So when you bring this up to non-dog guys, their first thing is, man, that's a lot of money for a dog, for an old dog. And I'm just like, you spend $2,500 on your gun alone.
It's not the waiters.
The waiters
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
it's getting
thousand.
there.
Yeah, it's getting there, right? So,
Man,
but
it's
your
crazy.
dog, like, listen, my dog isn't the best dog in the world, and she's not perfect, and she'll break and she'll whine and she's a friggin' basket case. But I'm going to tell you, the hardest worker on any hunt is my dog, hands down. Despite everything that I've done, my dog is the hardest worker. So if I can buy, and I think, Austin, I think it was $60 was what
Mhm.
your vest cost, right?
Yep.
So it cost me $60, and 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 I want to get into this, but the reasons to buy a vest, but $60 gets you the protection, the comfort, and everything for your dog that, in my opinion, does the majority of the work on a hunt. It just seems like an easy thing to say, well, I need a vest, so you go buy a
Well,
vest.
look at everything else that's out there right now. I'm not saying mine's the best thing since sliced bread, but when the normal is wearing something that has a hood scoop on it and something that doesn't fit right or rubs my dog's arms raw, I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's, it's the normal. So trying to change that mindset,
yeah.
but that's
But
what people see is I want a vest just because it looks cool, and they don't see the benefits or the
yeah,
what they
For,
how they're
for
making their dog work harder. Go ahead, Phil.
for guys hunting like cut cornfields,
so
You
I
get,
got I
you
got to
get
step away. You guys keep talking, but I know exactly where you're going, Philly.
yeah, like guys running a lot of cornfield, cut cornfields for geese and ducks and stuff. Like I've shot geese. I've had geese come down and impale themselves on stalks. That dog is barreling after a cripple, hits the cripple, stumbles, and impale himself on a corn stalk. Where I look at a lot of the boys down south hunting these timber ponds, like flooded timber, guys hunting beaver ponds and stuff. You get beavers in there and they're gnawing away on sticks. Well, what's the end of that stick look like? Like a
Mhm.
freaking bungee stick, right? Like it's
Yeah,
super pointy and sharp. That dog, it sees a dead bird, it's only going one speed. At least that's how mine operated, and it was all of it.
yeah.
Like he ain't slowing them down.
There's no
And
stopping
again,
them all.
there was that risk of again, being in these ponds and timbers and shit, dogs impaling themselves on sticks. Like I think a lot of people don't realize that these dog vests serve a hell of a lot more purpose than just keeping Fido warm.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like there's a lot of guys that are running upland vests. And again, guys running upland, dogs running through briars, all this other jazz. And again, areas where again there could be sharp sticks that can impale your dog. Like it is the smallest piece of life insurance. And so many people overlook it. Like it drives me nuts.
I was talking with a guy that I forgot where he was out of. We were having a conversation. I said, "Man, we'll spend $2,500 to keep us warm, and or $2,000 to keep us warm with a pair of waders, but we can't spend $60 on a vest
Yeah,
that will help your
yeah,
dog not get impaled, hold heat in."
And people don't realize like how warm that vest will keep a dog. Like the simple, I
yeah.
think it's like a five mil
Mm-hmm.
neoprene Cabela's one that I used to have for my old boy. Um, I've hunted him in minus 14 Celsius. I got no idea what the hell that translates into Fahrenheit. I think it's below zero. Like he was
Yeah.
swimming through soup. Like that's how thick the water was with slush and shit. And you put your hands up inside that vest, god damn, it's like an oven.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And when your hands are cold,
Yeah.
come here, Fido.
Yeah, I'm stick my hand
Sneak your hands up under that vest for a minute or two, warm your hand. But like that dog was bone dry, and he was warm.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's the benefits just all together. So
Yep.
I just got scuba certified last year, I believe.
Okay.
So I didn't understand neoprene. I knew it would help us keep us dry whenever we're
Yeah.
have kids on, but I never really understand the full concept of it. And they were telling me, well, if you wear 3 millimeter neoprene, will keep you this warm, or you're going to be swimming in 50-degree water, which I don't know nobody does. You need a 5 mil, and it's it'll help trap that heat. But then they're like, now you got to put weights on just so you can sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm adding weights, so the vest not only keeps you warm,
Yeah.
it helps you float, and having that extra layer. So if it does stick you, it may rip the vest. It may get turned off, rip the vest, and go somewhere else. But I've got a picture. I was hunting in Oklahoma last year, and we're sitting there dropping mallards left and right. Next thing I know, I get a text message. Look at my phone from this lady named Emily with Horizon Retrievers. She ran that vest all year, but she sent me the picture, and I said, "Oh no." And I thought that dog was going to be a goner.
Yeah.
It had a big old gash in his chest. You could see the meat. Next thing you know, she texted me back. Wish we would have had one for him. We were just playing in the woods.
Oh no.
But dog's okay. Dog's still running. I just
that's
sent
good.
upland vest for them to try out, see how they like it.
Yep.
And dog's still wide open. But like you said, these dogs aren't going to stop. They're going to go balls to the wall, full speed.
Absolutely.
To go pick up a bird.
Yeah, and so like you think about that, right? So when you're buying your dog, Phil, and you've bought dogs and you've went through pedigrees and you've looked at the parents and the grandparents and Austin, you've got a Boykin that's a high energy dog and I've got a Ferrari up in my house. You pay all this money to get this high end athlete because that's how I look at them, is because they're athletes.
I'm gonna use that word a little bit later too.
Yeah. And they're high end athletes, and for the cost of $60 for the vest. So you talk about the impalement. So, and I know I stepped away, but Phil had talked about these cornfields and stuff. Well, I can tell you, I've never hunted the flooded timber of Arkansas, but I've hunted some pretty gnarly marshes up here, and there's no second guess. When I send her, she jumps. And if it's jumping off the side of the boat or jumping off the shoreline, she doesn't care about what's in the water. She sees a down duck and that's it. The risk of impalement greatly, and I know the hypothermia and all that is a concern, but this impalement concern is scary. And if you I tell you what, take your dog to the vet to get stitches on a cut on its front quarter, because my dog ran through some barbed wire and ripped her front quarter, and I had to take her to the vet to get stitched up. And a different situation, but I promise you would have much rather paid the $60 for the vest than that vet bill for that impalement. And plus, you may lose your hunting buddy, right? That's the other thing. That's the scary thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what gets me. His nickname's House Dog, so he goes out, and we used to hunt all the time, and then came to Louisiana and started working a lot more, and got tired of him not having the vest, so I designed that. So I've been pretty much committed to designing everything. So I haven't hunted much. So we hunted last year I'm definitely taking a squirrel moment here, but we went
go for it.
We did early teal here, which is probably one of our best seasons.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I ever went early teal hunting here in Louisiana. And man, I tell you, we shot our first day, we shot a 6-man. The second day, we shot a 6-man. Every time we went out there, we shot a 6-man. It was nuts. They're like mosquitoes out here coming left and right. I think it took us about, latest day was an hour.
Huh.
So that back to the story of old house dog over here.
Yeah.
That first day he did amazing. We shot the 36. He picked up 20 out of the 36. Didn't have to. This was all on him.
Yeah.
They picked him up. Didn't have to go out there. Day 2, he picked up 5 out of 36. Watched me pick up the other 15 and walk behind me. That's house dog right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little bit tired, Dad. You go do the it's funny because I'm headed up to hunt with a buddy of ours this week, and Phil knows Logan McNulty, and it's going to be on some big old northern Canadas, right? And I'm like, well, I'll bring Lander, but I know I'm going to end up picking up a lot of them because she's just a small dog, right? So her pulling those big old Canadas in sometimes would be problematic. So I'm like, she'll bring them so far, but I think I'm going to be picking up a lot of them, which is okay. But again, it'll be good because I get to run her in that vest, and I'm a big fan of trying new products, and especially if I can help somebody with suggestions. Not that I'm the be all end all when it comes to dogs, but sometimes somebody will. Sometimes I have a good idea here and there, and you never know. So I'm looking forward to run. So I should run her in the water Friday. And then Sunday I'll probably run her in the field. So she'll be wearing the vest both days, and hopefully I can capture some content for you, and get some good reviews for you. But like I said, man, it's a quality vest. I really like it. But anyways, we started talking about the impalement and stuff. And when I'm going through your social media feed, like you actually, and you started to touch on it, but on your social media feed, you even have a post, the 5 reasons why you should have a dog vest for your dog. And we've already talked about the impalement and the extra hypothermia, the extra flotation, the concealment part of it. And I'm not gonna lie, that's why I didn't pick the brown one. I'm a big fan of solids. And
That's why I bought brown dogs. Here we go.
Here we go.
So man.
Oh yeah. So
they blend in the best. I'm just saying.
So there's this ongoing thing between Phil and I. I'm a black lab guy. Phil's a brown lab guy, and yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure Boykin's coming brown.
Yeah. Well, his is black, so I'm just saying. But actually. And then Matt Hicks too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I see because he runs a Boykin as well. And I just seen anyways when I was going through your website or your socials the other day, I was like,
those are Matt's photos.
I was like, I know that dog. That's Matt dog.
But
Matt,
some amazing pictures.
Dude, that dude is so skilled. It is too. He's been on the show and we've asked him, or like, what's the most, and I don't know if it was me that asked him or if it was you, Phil, because Phil.
No, I missed that episode.
Oh, Phil missed. So Phil does a bunch of photography stuff too. And so I guess it was me. And I was like, so what's the number one thing, people ask you? And they were like, how do I get my pictures to look the way that they look? Because I don't think anybody, there's a bunch of photographers that are out there that are amazing, but I think each photographer has their own style and what their pictures look. I don't think anybody can match Matt Hicks' style. Like what he does.
You see a Matt photo, you know it's a Matt photo.
Yeah, 100%.
Not a question.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, We're all over. This is how the show goes, Austin.
Hey,
Like we're all
hey,
over the
yours is
place here,
great.
man. Um, what
And
were
we're
we?
duck hunters, not doctors.
Yeah.
No,
How did we? Oh, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like
We're
that's
talking about the
why
5 principles.
5 principles, and I brought up the concealment. Well, that's the reason why I didn't go with the brown, is because on a black dog, the brown just contrasts the black dog, which is already in the merch. So I was like, well, I got to go with the old school camo. Like that's just a given. Go with the old
Well,
school.
buddy, I've been crushing ducks all this week wearing solids.
Hey, I'm a big fan of I am. I'm a huge fan of
Literally, I've
solids.
been rocking my I guess well, I bought them as FA waders, but the Rogers. But
Right.
they're just like a plain like brownish color.
Hmm.
I've been rocking the
How do you like them?
they've worked well so far.
Yeah.
Um but another
Yeah.
tangent.
Yeah. Another
Um
tangent.
but
Yeah.
yeah, we can talk about that later. But yeah, I was rocking that and just the final approach Unky 2.0. And just like the typical like at their first light fucking brown.
But this old school camo, and anybody that's watching the show, you'll see it. And if you're listening, you can't see if you're, but the old school camo seems to be making a comeback. Like it seems to be a very popular
The
camo
frog.
pattern. Yeah.
Well, you want to get into the science behind that, you go look up Dixie decoys and you go see Brad's the
Really?
research, whatever else that Brad Sanders has done on the old frog camo.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. Well, it's time to get Brad back on the show,
Being
actually.
from Austin's old neck of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good. We should get Brad back on the show because it's been a minute since he's been on, and I know he's gone all civilian now, growing a beard and shit
Yeah,
since
he's got a
he's left.
beard now, and
Yeah, since he left the Marines. So, now we can probably have a little bit more fun. He doesn't have to be so serious. Anyways, again, another tangent, Austin. Um, we sort of talked about it before we hit the record button. And I was sort of kind of joking and being, I guess, mischievous when I was saying it, but I really did want to bring it up and just to get you to share your experiences, because what I had said, and for anybody that, if you're wondering what was it that I had said, man, I would not want to have to look at my inbox if I was you, because the amount of people that to be writing and saying, hey, listen, can I pro staff for you? Can I try your stuff and do some promotion for you and all this stuff? And I was like, man, I would not want to have to do that. But you've had a totally different experience than what I assumed. And I wanted to give you a chance to sort of kind of talk about the positive side of everything that you've done.
man, it's been, I'm retouching everything that we talked about, but it's been nothing but amazing with the people that reached out to me and actually wanted to support me because I'm a small business. The people that, how do I word this? How get so I can get back on track? So whenever I started everything, it was more of a Boykin front because I have Boykins. I was really big in the community. So a lot of, you'll see a lot of my reviews is Boykin people.
Yep.
And but everybody else, you have a couple people that are like what you said, like, hey, let me be a pro staff, send me a vest.
Yep.
I of course I got a couple of those, but a lot of people are super want to give it a try. Whenever they try, they're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yep.
I love it. And then we have that conversation. It's not like one of those conversations of a business owner trying to get you to sell something. It's more personal. So we have those conversations, and you're not talking to a robot.
Yeah.
You're talking to a real person, and we have that conversation. I talk about their dog, what they're looking at, and it just turns into something more than I'm just buying a vest.
Yeah.
So,
But I think that's the thing, and I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, because I think everybody knows it. But sometimes it's just not feasible sometimes to go with the small business, because the big box stores sometimes are a little bit cheaper and what have it, right? Um, but the thing with the small business that money can't replace is the relationship, right? And you talked about, the lady, and I forget the name of her kennel, Horizon Retrievers,
Yep.
I think was what you said. Um, but that's a relationship that you've built with that. Like you don't know that, like you didn't know that lady, and now you've built a relationship. She's helped you create a product that is, from everything I see, superior than anything that I've used. And I'm not saying I've used every dog vest that's out there, but it's superior. And I will add this, and this is what I said to you on the phone when you and I chatted last week. When Pat Heinrichs from Canadian Waterfowl Supplies calls me and tells me about a product, I'm going to tell you, I promise you, I listen because he told me about your product. He was like, "You got to check this out." And when Pat Hendricks and Philly, Pat as well. And if Pat is standing behind a product, I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you, you best be checking it out. And again, right? Like so it's all these relationships that you're building as a small business guy. You said it. It's not, you're not talking to a robot, right? It's one-on-one conversations, and you want your product to you want your product to succeed, but you want a happy customer. So
Exactly. And it makes it even better because I love dogs.
yeah,
I can, so a lot of people will have my number. They message me on my socials, and I know a good bit of them. But the
hmm
moment they see their dog, I know which dog it is. I follow
right,
back. Yep, that's Birdie.
yeah.
That's
You're like
him
you're like
soon.
my kids when
Huh?
my kids were smaller. We'd be like, "Who's that?" And they'd be like, "Oh, that's Charlie's mom. That'd be the dog, right? Dog is Charlie, and the lady is, well, that's Charlie's mom." They
Yeah,
knew all the
whoever.
dogs. Yeah, they knew all the dogs. Didn't know any person's names, right?
But yeah, it's been great. Met some amazing people. We all have the same mission, and that's just make sure my dog's comfortable and they're ready to go.
So you touched on it a little bit because you said you sent the lady from Horizon Retrievers an upland vest. So you've got, the neoprene, the extra flotation for waterfowl dogs. Now is the upland vest a new product that you've launched, or you've had it for a couple years as well?
It's it's new. So we launched
Mm,
last year in December.
okay.
We haven't even been in full swing for a whole year yet. We still got another month till that hits.
Wow.
We just launched our Upland vest. Did same thing we did with our waterfowl vest. Reach out to people, get their insight.
Yep.
We already have the perfect fit. I guarantee that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so what do we want now? How else can we protect your dog? And because them upland dogs, they run through some nasty
Oh,
stuff,
buddy.
and they're hard driving, briars, run smack dab into a
Yeah.
uh, fence,
Yeah,
and
man.
there's some hard charges.
And the biggest thing is people need to realize like the difference between an upland dog and like a water dog is upland dog is go the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's from the second you drop the tailgate until you're
Yeah,
back of that truck, that
that's
dog is
right.
go the whole time. Whereas us and like the waterfowl thing, that dog's only going when there's a dead bird.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So he
right.
runs from point A to point B, back to point A, or he goes
Yeah.
from point A to point H, comes back to point A.
Yeah.
Whereas upland dogs, it's full fucking meth head for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you've ever run an upland dog, it's full meth head for like 3 hours, maybe
So
four.
Yeah.
without going too far down, because I'm not an upland guy, and nothing against it. It's just I've never ever, I don't know. I've just never really got into it. But your upland vest, so obviously your upland vest is not a neoprene vest, right? No.
You got,
So
like Phil said, they're on the go for 3 hours straight, nonstop. If you put a neoprene vest on them, they're going to have a heat stroke and
that's
pass
right.
out.
That's
Bad
right.
things will happen. So I had to go back to the drawing board on what fabric we needed to use, what everyone else used. How do I get it to protect them the best, where it won't hurt them, where they won't get any chafing around their arms, around their shoulders, get something that fits. but not super tight where it restricts them, and then but something so loose where you get the cockaburras and everything in there, and that's exactly what we have to deal with waterfowl as well. So
And the biggest thing is with at least this is just my own thought process, and you can likely agree or not, but the upland vest is more of like a protection as opposed to a warmth item,
oh yeah,
right?
it's like
Because that dog is running full tilt for your 3, 4, 5 hours. He ain't cold.
mm-mm.
No, that dog is hauling ass for X number of hours. He's keeping warm. That vest is like more so kind of like a
it's
prevent, the sticks and stuff, right?
it's the same thing we put on cut resistant gloves when we're dealing with sharp shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get cut, so I put on cut resistant gloves as a form of PPE to protect myself. That's why we put them on our dogs as well, the form of PPE, and that's what Upland's for.
Yeah, like you can get like obviously me being in law enforcement, we have the
Mhm.
black leather gloves, and we can get ones with like a yellow Kevlar lining, which are kind of slash resistant, or you can get the better ones that have like a white. I can't even remember like the name of the stuff, like a white lining, and it's like near indestructible.
Mhm.
Is that like the puncture?
Yeah,
That would be like the puncture safe stuff, right? For
yeah,
needles.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the white lining
Yeah,
gloves.
yeah. Is that not Kevlar?
I think it's Spectra.
Oh, never heard of
I think
that.
it's called Spectra. Yeah, like it is phenomenal fabric,
It,
but
you know,
probably
when
expensive.
when you get into upland, and not that I'm experienced with upland, but when I was out west guiding this year, I didn't take Lander with me, so she was with my buddy Bill, and Bill does a little bit of work at a pheasant farm, so he took her a few times pheasant hunting as the as the dog to do the work. And when I come back from out west, like under her eyes, like fur was gone, down on her chin, fur was gone. And I was like, what the frig did you do to my dog? And he was like, I didn't do nothing to your dog. He's like, your dog is just crazy. Like, and it's not just my dog. That's an upland dog, right? An upland dog. They just go through all those brambles and those briars and everything. So, um, that neoprene vest, I would think. Let's just say you throw a neoprene vest on a dog for upland, it wouldn't even last a couple hunts.
Depending on where you're at, I
Yeah,
have one of the first 25 that a customer that was but one of the first 25 we got
yeah.
real close. Steve, he ran his in upland up there in Wisconsin, and I don't know how he to destroy it, not with the neoprene, but he ran the hell out of it and picked up a shit ton of pheasants.
Yeah.
And I got a picture on one of my socials, but his dog was running in snow, and you had ice built up all around the chest plate, and that's a
They're amazing, man.
badass.
They're
But it was another Boykin, so
Yeah. They're
so
just they're amazing, man. And I don't want to take away too much about your product and giving you a platform to talk about your product, but any chance that I can talk dogs on this show, and Phil, you and I, more so than Craig and Ryan and Dave and Merck that's been on the show. You and I, being dog guys,
Yeah.
um, any chance that I can get to talk dogs, and I love it, right? Um,
Like you have not hunted until you've hunted with a dog.
I won't
yeah,
hunt without. It's
yeah,
one. I will become the dog and
yeah,
chase all the reps down. And I'll get worn out. Actually, the guy I grew up with, he's a guide in South Carolina, and he just got a new puppy. And he was talking to me that he's like, dude, this sucks. This sucks. I don't know if I can do it. It's not gonna last another 3 weeks. I know the season just came in, but it's hot here in South Carolina. I'm having to walk my fat ass around the whole plantation, pick up these birds. We're about to bring Delta.
Yeah.
What about the bringer? Because this sucks. He's going to run quick.
There's nothing funnier than watching your fat overweight friend chasing a crippled goose through a cornfield.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, I'm gonna tell you, we done a hunt. I had some boys from Oregon, and it was supposed to be a spec hunt with specs landing right in the decoys. That was what the scout told me. And when I say the scout, I'm doing the scouting. And I'm watching the birds and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be stupid. It's just gonna be specks landing right in the decoys, easy hunt, which turned into I think we got like 8 specks, but we limited out on 40 ducks in like an hour. And I'm 47 years old. I'm 240 pounds. And if I've ever missed my dog, it was during this day. And there was times I'm running back and I'm just like, I'm probably gonna pass out before I make it back to the before I make it back to the blind because this is not cool whatsoever. And that was, after that when I looked at Daryl and Daryl Phil, and I was
Yep.
like, next year Lander 100%. There was just too many unknowns this year to bring her out. Next year 100% she's coming out because I cannot do that, man. Can you imagine every day chasing around 40 birds and cripples? And now I was lucky there wasn't a whole ton of cripples. The fellows were normally good shots, so birds mostly folded, so you didn't have a whole lot of cripples. But oh man,
Yeah.
if you haven't hunted over a dog, you are really missing out, and it just adds that little bit more. The word I want to say joy is the word, but it's not a strong enough word to use when you're sitting down in a blind, in a panel blind or in a layout blind, or at your duck club, or whatever it is, and and you fold a bird, and your dog goes out and just retrieves it and brings it back to hand, and dude, there's nothing more special than watching that, I don't think.
It's like the gratitude, you're proud, you're excited. It's all of it. It's
Oh, well, let's not talk about if you're the dog owner. Like if you're the dog owner and your dog is out there just friggin' doing every blind retrieve and marking properly, and the dog comes back and listen, if you're not walking off that hunt with a bit of a swagger and thinking you're king shit at Turd Mountain.
shit. Yeah, house dog did his job today. He ain't coming tomorrow though. He ain't gonna show me up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm not going to take my chances. I'm going to end on a high note. No, it's just it's on a different level, man. Like hunting is amazing, and everybody's got their reason. That's the beautiful thing about hunting, right? Like and take away the shooting part of it, and the harvesting of an animal or a bird or whatever it is that you're pursuing. But everybody's got their own there's a minuscule part of every hunt that is different for every single person. And you could laugh at that as you're listening to me saying it. But if you think about it, if you honestly take a couple minutes to sit back and think about the last hunt that you've done and the thing that made you the most happy, I guarantee you will be different than the guy sitting next to you. I guarantee it will be. And it still may revolve around folding birds, but it may be the fact that did you see how that group of mallards just made that turn into us right at that last minute? They just turned on that tight, or if it was, that shot where they just flared up and you took one right in I don't know, man. Is it everybody's got their own reasons, and that's the beautiful thing about it. And once you add a dog into it,
It
it
takes
just
it to a whole nother
oh,
level. Whole nother.
whole nother level.
Watching, I went,
Some of my best hunts and my best conversations with me and the old boy, just two of us.
mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I've told things to my dog that I've never told a human being in my life. Hey,
It's
20
Because you
years
know your
in,
secret's safe.
yeah,
yeah.
20 years in the army, um, 20 years of going to shithole countries and doing shithole country things. I've told my dog things that I've never told another human being. And you know what? I could sit there and do it,
And she didn't judge.
she didn't judge, and my dog
No.
is a pretty affectionate dog, so she likes to give the
Oh
kisses.
fuck, she's a big sweetheart.
So you could pour your heart out to my dog, and she'll just look at you and give you a big old sloppy lick on the face, and yeah, I got you, Dad. We're good. All right, enough of this sappy shit. Let's go kill some birds, and that's how she is. But I don't know, buddy. And and we're getting off topic because I really sometimes I think that's the hard part about doing this show, Phil, is that sometimes we get people like Austin that come on and they've got an amazing product. We want to talk about the product and we want to give that product a platform to be able to, grow their exposure.
Part of the problem is none of us are medicated for ADHD.
Oh no, I got it extremely bad.
Dude,
I
like
had squirrel. Like we talked about waiters. I was about to go on a big tangent about waiters. Talk about dogs. I got all these stories about dogs. We want to go talk about the benefits of the vest. I got that.
None of us are medicated.
none of
Go.
us are met. It's so like I love doing this show, and I really do. And I love doing the show for a ton of reasons. Um, but one of the biggest reasons I love doing the show is that um if there's somebody that's a small business and a new product, I I love the fact that I can hang my hat and say, well, you know what? I helped them out. Did it generate $1 million in sales? Probably not. But it may have made two or three extra sales that person wouldn't have had.
I
And
mean,
and yeah, go
just,
for it, buddy.
just listening to this podcast right here, it's we may not be talking a lot about the dog vest, but it just shows the passion that we all have for the same thing. Like we all
Yeah.
love our dogs. We all want them to be comfortable. We all know they're the athletes of the sport. We spend the most money on them.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy how much time and effort we put into these dogs and how
So
much
so you said that you were going to use that term later.
athlete.
Yeah.
So I like to think of this as our dogs are athletes, right?
Yep.
Think about it like you said, they go pick up 3 ducks to 40 ducks with cripples.
Yep.
When we think of an athlete, we think of people that play football, play
Yep.
hockey, soccer.
Yep.
Well, what kind of equipment, what kind of gear are they wearing?
Yeah.
If they're a size 9, are they wearing a size 12 shoe?
That's
Are they
right.
trying to squeeze into a size 7 shoe? Just
Yeah.
do an example.
Yeah.
No, you wear what fits them, right?
Yeah.
And in the market these days, you have some that can get you that fit that you like. But at the end of the day, I would say the number one dog breed for duck hunters is a lab.
Yeah.
Got it. But if you look on how they're all built, they're not built for athletes.
No.
They're built for, I call them toilet paper rolls. Same size chest, same size
Yeah.
weight.
No,
Then
absolutely, buddy. That's a brilliant analogy to, I've considered my dog an athlete for the 5 years that I've had her. Um, but bringing that in, that an athlete is wearing custom
they're wearing
gear. Yeah,
gear that fits them.
gear that fits them, that's going to listen. I guess the easiest way to put this is that if an athlete doesn't win or doesn't hit first place, the last thing it's going to be is the equipment,
Yep.
right?
It'll be the person themselves.
It's going to be the person themselves.
It goes all the way down to us putting pants on in the morning. I'm I wear a 32-inch waist. I'm not going to put a 52-inch pair of pants. I
32
mean,
inch
they'll fit.
waist. Those
I
were
can.
the days.
I been very active lately. I used to be a little,
No, I'm just joking, buddy.
but like it's same thing with us. Like we're not going to wear pants that are too big. We
That's
can
right.
make. Oh, we
One
can.
100%. I think it's a good topic that you bring up. Uh, and I don't think that it's been a topic that's never been addressed before. I just don't think we've taken it as serious as we need to. And the fact when you say something like, "Hey, listen, an athlete is not wearing stuff that's oversized," that really strikes a strikes a nerve, I guess. But like it really hits home for me because you're 100% right. If we're expecting our dogs, our buddies, to do 30 retrieves a day, and listen, that's not unheard of for 30 to 40 retrieves a day. Why wouldn't you do whatever you can to ensure the most success? And
Mhm.
and like I'm looking at Phil here as I'm saying this, and Phil's had multiple dogs where your desire for your dog is unmatched. It's one of your children. It the same deal, right? So I just it's a really good topic that you bring up, and I know you're in the business of creating a dog vest and wanting to get that product out there. But how serious we look at protecting our dogs and making sure that our dogs have all the right tools and we set them up for success. I I don't want to say that the topic hasn't been discussed enough, but it hasn't been discussed enough, if that makes sense.
Mhm. It does.
Yeah.
Like my biggest thing is my dog vest may not fit your dog. I can tell you right now where to go.
Yeah.
I will point you to them in a heartbeat. I don't if you can use my vest or not.
Yeah.
If your dog has that perfect body shape and you like what the other brands or whatever
Yep.
brand you like,
Yep.
go for it. If it is used the proper way and it's beneficial to them, yeah, use it.
Yeah.
Run it. I mean, I got mine and I'm biased, but
Of course.
like when this all started, I just wanted a vest that fit my Boykin because there's nothing ever caters a small dog ever.
But
So that
is that not the way of, and I'm sorry I cut you off, but is that not the way of why this waterfowl hunting world is so awesome? Is that there's always somebody that needed something that was just a little different than what everybody else had.
Mhm.
Hence the reason why uh, I don't deer hunt. I'll dabble in turkey every once in a while, but ducks and geese, that's it for me. And I don't think there's another pursuit out there that is so gear intensive as what waterfowl hunters are. And you're a prime example of it. Okay, well, hey, listen, there's dog vests. I don't have the typical dog. I've got a Boykin. It's a smaller dog, and that big barrel chested English lab that it was designed off of isn't going to work for my dog. So okay, I'm going to create my own.
Mhm.
And like I said, my dog is not much. I would say she's probably about the same size as yours. So um it makes sense for me, and like I said, it fits her good, and it's not, Scoop and I bought a new one this year, and in the vest it's got like when she's swimming, it just
Mhm.
it's just gathering water. That's all it does. It's slowing her down. You know what I mean? Because the proper fit isn't there. Go for it, Phil.
No, just listen.
Oh, okay. I thought you put your hand up.
Yeah.
You had a point to make. Sorry, buddy.
You made
It's okay. Apology accepted.
You're awesome.
You can
Philly.
get it. I like it.
You're awesome.
I like it. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Just keep up the adequate work.
Oh man. But
No,
yeah,
but it's
like
all
you
good.
I totally see like where you're going with this, Austin. Like obviously it's a lab dominated market, and if it ain't labs, it's Jesse's. They're all the same kind of body style shape sort of thing. And obviously, like because of your situation, want to be different, running a different dog, you had to fill that niche. So, like, what with your vets, because obviously, like, we've been all over the goddamn map.
Yep.
What is your adjustability like on your vest? Because like, I don't care like how much you measure your dog 6 ways from Sunday, and you follow the charts, shit's not gonna work out. Like I did the same thing with my old boy. I still had to cut the vest. I had to trim it. So what's your adjustability and kind of like flex sizing wise, like with the vests that you offer?
So right now we have 6 different sizes. Like I said, with the pant analogy,
Yep.
I may be able to fit into that pair of pants, but it's not going to fit me right. So I'm not a big fan of one size fits all or fits most.
Yep.
I want it to be more tailored to you. So I really looked into the breed specific and okay, these dogs are smaller. How is their shape? Okay, what's the 40 to 50 shape look like? And so on and so forth. And how do I incorporate having a dog that has a bigger midsection or the same size midsection as they do the chest size, right? So really dove deep, kind of got the vest here, kind of go really brief into it. So to make it simple for us, I wanted it one piece. So we're not messing with it, not making it super complicated to put on your dog. You got 2 shoulder straps right here. The cool thing about it, it sandwiches in there. So if you got this one that pulls off right here, it's not coming off your dog. But you got about 6 inches of adjustability around the chest, really focused on getting this tight to the neck. So when your dog is swimming, they're not getting slowed down by all that rushing water in there. Next areas would be the midsection. I said that most dogs are athletic, so they're going to have that athletic build, big in the chest, skinny in the waist. We got 2 torso adjustments here, so you can still get the big in the waist look. So you can go all the way down, get it barely hooked, the Velcro super strong. But then if they have that really skinny waist, you can really tighten it up and really get that good fit on them. So, and then everything comes together with the top. And like I said before, I use Velcro because I don't like dealing with my dog in the morning. A zipper, if one tooth fails, your whole vest fails.
And the other thing with zippers, you're hunting late season, shit freezes.
Yeah, 100%.
Zippers freeze.
That's why I don't like
You can,
zippers.
you can still get the Velcro undone.
And then another big thing is that with the zipper and no Velcro at all, you're not going to maintain that perfect fit throughout the season. The beginning of the season, your dog's going to be fat, going to be fluffy. Yeah. He's not going to be in the fighting shape until really mid to end of the season. Yeah. So Velcro, you're able to get that same fit. You may not see it on the day-to-day, but your dog loses weight. You're able to keep that same fit throughout. I have a guaranteed fit policy.
Yeah, there's no adjustability with a zipper.
None.
Yeah, and like there's a big difference between Olympic athlete and beer league athlete.
I'm beer league.
Let's be honest.
Austin, I do have to ask you this.
I was just about to bring that.
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
We all hear the stories of dogs getting lost in the woods, or like you're hunting your dog chasing a cripple. You can't call them back. We never think about it, but it does happen over and over again. And you can embroider your name, your number on the side, but yeah, your dog has to be like caught and only got to read. That pouch there was specifically designed for an AirTag like device or a
Ah,
tracker.
yeah, yeah.
So waterproof pocket. So if your dog does get lost, it doesn't happen often,
Right.
but it does happen.
Yeah.
And putting say an AirTag in there and your dog runs
Brilliant.
off,
Brilliant.
your dog with that AirTag, it's not a bomb proof, like I can track it like a $400 tracker.
Yeah.
That's not the case. But if your dog gets lost and gets about 80 feet from an active cell phone,
Yeah.
it'll ping.
Huh.
So now you have a separate way to find your dog if they get lost. It's $25 for a AirTag here,
Yeah.
but it's
I would think it's close onto that. But and I don't want to I'm not trying to take away from what you're saying, but in a world where everybody's trying to be a little more cost effective, hey, listen, those Garmin and because this is the brand that I know, but those Garmin dog collars that you can track with the the map and stuff like that, you're talking serious money. But
That's
that
Bitcoin.
that's big coin. But a $25 air tag and is waterproof and you can just slide, dude, that's I
you
was
push back.
wondering, I was wondering why you done that, and I was like, I gotta ask him. But it's smart. It is. I really like it. And there's a lot of things that could possibly go wrong during a hunt. So your dog is chasing a cripple. You know what? That's the ideal situation. Is if your dog just chases a cripple and just gets at a site. There's a lot more worse things that could happen. And having that air tag in the dog's vest, yeah, that's pretty good, man. I like it.
Just brings that little extra bit of comfort because
Yeah,
you're not breaking the bank. You're not spending $200 for the cheapest GPS collar that
yeah.
you'll use very rarely or have it on there. And if you hunt so many times, you don't have to spend that much money. It's just have something there that's in case the worst case scenario happens.
And the biggest
Yeah.
thing too with like the air tags, like they're cheap, they're affordable, but like so many people have them, and
Mm-hmm.
like you can have it on your car keys one day and in your dog vest the next day,
Yeah,
Yep.
good point.
or wherever you're putting
Yeah,
these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Like the ability, like the diverse
Yeah, the multi-use.
multi-use
Yeah.
ability of said air tag, and now you've now incorporated that into your vest with like literally just having a
Oh,
flap
that's
sewn on, like,
Yep.
and you
yeah,
can tuck one of those in there, like you say, Fido's full drive and he gone.
yeah,
You can jump on your phone. Like, yeah, he's just over hanging out at that next concession. You
Yep.
jump in the truck, jump in the boat,
yeah.
zip around, pick up Fido. You have a conversation about his actions, and then you go back.
A very one-sided
Yeah, I'm gonna
conversation.
do a lot of talking. You're gonna do a lot of listening.
Yep.
But it's one of the
Exactly.
small, simple things that people like totally
No, it's good.
oversee and don't think about.
No, I like it. I think it's smart and just something that was the last thing that was on my mind, to be honest with you, was the AirTag. I was like, well, it's too small for a cell phone. Why would you put a cell phone on your dog vest anyways? And then I was like, well, you can't put a first aid kit in there. I was just racking my brain. I was like, what is it? And the AirTag was not what I thought.
It's something small. I mean,
Yeah,
it's needed something waterproof, something small, little pouch. You can put treats in it too.
yeah,
Rather,
yeah.
if you're very treat motivated, you'll probably try to chew the
Oh,
vest all the time. So I
well.
would,
That's all labs. Yeah.
That's all labs. Yeah, I don't know what the Boykins are like, but labs, you're definitely not putting treats in the vest
No.
oh
because
yeah.
they'll eat them. Shane Foreman, I hope you're listening to this episode. So Shane was a hunter that came through um Saskatchewan and hunted with us this past fall, and Shane's in Illinois by way of Louisiana. So he's a Baton Rouge guy, I think, but lives now in Illinois. And he's got his dog that he calls Beast, and you need to see this dog because Beast isn't what you think of when you see him. But a great dog, and Shane is always looking for that next product and anything that's gonna make his hunt just that much better. Shane, I'm sure I'll get a message from you after you listen to this episode, but um, please check out Recoil Outdoors because I think you're going to be very happy with the product. Um, Austin, buddy, we could keep going. But you know what? The beauty thing about this is that we can have you to come back, and the cool thing, Philly, is that Austin's going to be in Oklahoma City this summer.
What?
So
Yes, sir.
we're going to be in Oklahoma City this summer as well. So we'll be able
Yes.
to do a face to face, and we're actually going to do a show in Oklahoma City in our booth. And Austin, we would absolutely love it if you were able to carve some time out of your schedule while you're in Oklahoma City to come sit down with us and talk everything dogs, the Delta Waterfowl Duck Expo and everything else under the sun, buddy. But I will leave you with this, that this is almost coming up onto the end of November. And by October of next year, I am probably going to be in the need of a white vest that has some insulation. So probably not neoprene, but just a little white vest with a little bit of insulation. Something for you. Just when you think you had everything all figured out, here's another design that you've got to start wrapping your head around. And I would love to be able to have one of the recoil vests to take to Saskatchewan with me with my girls. So it was awesome to chat with you, buddy. We'll do a quick around the table, give you the last words, and we'll end her there, Philly.
Austin, again, absolute pleasure having you on. It's always great seeing these small businesses that find these niches, and it's like the market sucks. I need something like this. It's not there, and people like yourself take that initiative to fill that void for other hunters. Because obviously, you're not the only guy running a boykin or a small dog, and you needed that vest that contoured better to your hunting dogs, body type, whatever else, and you've obviously nailed it. And then have now added an upland version as well. So again, great work. Looking forward to meeting you next summer in Oklahoma, and just keep up the great work, man.
Thanks, sir.
To
You cut
you,
that
Austin.
sir shit out.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
No.
Yeah.
Damn,
No,
let's do
go
it.
for it, Austin, buddy.
Nah, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's been great. Just talking dogs and hunting in general. It's just awesome. It's only my second podcast, so I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, I loved it. Can't wait to see you guys, and thanks for letting me come show my product and educating people on what it actually does and how it benefits your dog, and kind of makes everyone see things in a different light. So, and it's not just for small dogs; it's for the big ones too,
Yep.
big fluffy ones. So, and it's just thank you guys for having me here. It was awesome.
No, buddy, thank you. Thanks for answering my message when I reached out to you. Thanks for the phone call. Thank you for um being one of us and being all over the place and rolling with the punches where we go. The only thing that we didn't do tonight that we normally do is we normally throw out a Simpsons quote. But Phil and I have both dropped the ball on that tonight.
We can't all be tens, bro. Can't all be tens.
So the Simpsons quote didn't happen tonight. But we will make it up on the next episode. Awesome, buddy. I really do want to do a show with you in Oklahoma City, but between now and Oklahoma City, if there's ever something and you're like, man, I need to get back on the show with the boys and talk about this, fire me a message. Believe me, the wait list to get on this show isn't as big as what I make it out to be. So Philly,
We can have
Philly's
another
just
fun to
laughing.
continue this. I'm cool with all of it.
No, buddy. Like if you need to come back on the show and if there's something you want to talk about, then fire me a message and we'll do it. Again, I love your product. initial trials. I loved it. I'm gonna put it to the test the week on Friday and Sunday. And hopefully I'll get some content and I'll be able to share it with you and stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Union 0430 podcast. We are not experts, nor will we ever pretend to be. We're just a bunch of dudes that love talking duck hunting and dogs and hanging out with some good people. Surround yourself with good people, big love, and until next time.